Sorry if it... All right, welcome to the Monday Dream Achievers Zoom. I am not Sherry Fredericks, but her name's there. I'm Rebecca Rasmussen. I live in Kimball, South Dakota. I've been selling Tastelessly Simple for about the better part of 13 years. So that's me. If you don't know me, I think I know most of you on here, or I've at least seen you on here. So Lisa Burns right over here, and I are gonna be, I guess, telling you what we learned in Tampa. But first things first, we have to do victories. So is there anyone that has a victory that they would like to share? Not all at once, ladies. No one?
I will share since everybody else is so shy. We have added 5 to our team this month with the January join special. Yes. I have one first liner. She actually found me on Facebook. So welcome, Carrie. And Carrie has already had 2 join her. And Susie has 2 that joined her team as well. So 4 new in my second line. So we saw some growth. So hopefully we'll get them all off to a great start.
Wow, that's incredible, Lisa. You'll have to share some tips when we get there.
Yes.
I was just telling Alice before she was the first one on, so we were chatting, but I was just messaging from like 7 till I had to get on here from a party that I have going on, and I did get a response that one lady wants to book a party. So that is a huge victory. Now let's just hope it's for February. So just got to confirm a date with her. So I call that a victory. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay. Let me see what's next here. Announcements. I'm not really sure what Carrie meant by that, so I'm just gonna go over well, I guess some things that I think people either need to know. If you don't already know, your month is running out. But double host rewards for January. Hopefully you've been promoting that. Hopefully your parties are going well to achieve that. The $24 join offer with anyone in the month of February can join for $24 and get their business going. So I hope we all know about that and have been promoting that. Spring Summer Palooza is right around the corner. January, is it 2nd and 3rd? Is that right? February. Yes, not January 2nd and 3rd. No more January. February 2nd and 3rd, and it's virtual. Unless you would like to go to Alexandria and watch it with Sherry and the greater team. So $49, you can still register if you haven't already. And I believe that you don't get the amenity package anymore. You had to do that by a certain amount of time. So, but again, you know, Lisa's always smart with this, and she's like, if you don't get the amenity package, who cares? Just buy part 1 when the new catalog comes out, and that way you're at least getting commission on it. So another way to flip that around if you've missed that deadline. And then if you haven't been on TS Central or I guess social media at all, there's a sale on the fall winter products. They're all about about $2 off from what I saw. So our fall winter products are on sale. I believe that started today. I'm a little shady on details. I just see stuff on social media.
It did start today. Yeah, and I had somebody ask already till when, and all I can find is while supplies last, right? Is that what everybody else is seeing?
That's what I'm seeing, yeah. So, oh, Sheila's in the waiting room. Oh, see, I'm gonna like leave somebody out there for a half hour. Any other company-wide things? We have a VIP rewards program that's starting, but we'll hear more about that at Palooza, I'm assuming, and that starts with the new catalog.
The kickoff is Thursday the 25th at 6:30.
Oh, yep, test your tech. Is there some recognition that night, potentially?
Not sure about recognition, but I do believe they're gonna do like the trends video and that kind of thing.
Okay. So tune in Thursday, the 25th of January. That'll be a warm spot in this wretched January. I swear January is like 365 days itself in it. So okay. Let me see what else is on the official agenda. So oh, product knowledge with Andrea Loomer. What do you got for us, Andrea?
Well, I figured I just used this one yesterday and I realized, I reach for it quite a bit. So I thought that would be easy for me to talk about, and I can talk about something I just made with it too. So, rustic herb. I'm sorry if it's the camera. Anyway, rustic herb. I don't know.
There you go.
They were, yeah, wherever the camera. So it has 5 different seasonings in it. Does everybody know all 5?
No.
Rosemary.
Yep.
Garlic, thyme,
Yep.
salt, and pepper.
Good job. Yep, all 5. Woohoo. Garlic is said to have cardiovascular properties that's good for your heart. Rosemary is good for inflammation and digestion, I guess. So if you need a few other reasons to tout it as an everyday seasoning, there you go. It's gluten-free, it's kosher certified, and according to the interwebs, if you're following a low sodium diet, you need to fall under 140 milligrams per serving. This one is 105. So this one would be considered very low sodium. So another selling point there. In our house, we use this quite a bit. My go-to with it is, so last night we had brats sliced on the diagonal and I just grabbed veggies. So I grabbed potatoes, carrots, red pepper, onions. I think that was all I had last night. And carrots. Did I say carrots? Anyway, throw them all in a bag, dice them up, cut them up, throw them in a bag with a little bit of olive oil, enough to coat all the veggies. And then I put in a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, depending on how many veggies you have. And then throw them in an oven on a sheet pan at 425 for 25 to 30 minutes. And you have an amazing, quick and easy dinner with lots of flavor. Obviously, I like to roast veggies with it. It's great for flavoring up some cottage cheese to help make that protein a little more palatable. And then, and can be good with like, I don't know if you guys have seen those. They're like those crunchy, they're Crunch Master. I don't know. Anyway, they're like a healthier multi-grain cracker. Use that. And then you have a great protein, low carb snack. And then also I like to blend it with butter and then also on pasta. And then of course throw it in with those soups, the vegetable beef, chicken noodle, chicken wild rice, all those great dishes that it pairs well with. Obviously at Thanksgiving, I'm coating my turkey with roasted garlic oil and then with rustic herb on top of that. Even throw in some butter underneath the skin and it makes a really good turkey. But that's what I had to share. It's my knowledge drop on rustic herb.
Thank you, Andrea. I love how you always have like research, like it's heart healthy. Like I would have been like, this is how I use it. But you always
I think of selling points and things that I don't, technically think about right away. It's always like when you're using it, it's like, well, what's the benefits of using it? So I try to figure out, like, at least with the stuff I really like and use, to because then you can speak to it a lot easier, right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing. Welcome, Sheila and Gail. Sorry if you were waiting for a long time. I'm not used to watching the notification. Okay. And then it looks like we are on to topic. So, this is not like super organized by topic. We kind of decided that we didn't have to plan too much ahead, that we were just going to start sharing and then we would hop in on each other's comments or topics. So Lisa, did you want to go first or do you want me to just throw something out there?
I can start with beings. January has the $24 join offer. One of the sessions that I took the most away from was actually on the sponsoring. So I will start with that. Offering the opportunity to everyone. It's a hard habit to get into, but we have to get out of our own way and offer it to everybody. Don't prejudge, even if they're a lawyer or a doctor. Tastefully Simple might be the piece of life that they're missing out on. Maybe they're a waitress, you know, you don't know their situation or what they're looking for. So offering to everyone. And then not an aha moment, but a good reminder, we should be asking our hosts. They're our number one prospect when it comes to sponsoring, because we already know they like the products because they're already hosting. If you have a super active host in your party who's commenting and sharing things about the products, they are ideal because they're already doing your job by sharing what they like about the products. When asking or inviting others to join Tastefully Simple, think about what excites you about Tastefully Simple and use that enthusiasm to share when you're inviting others. One of the phrases that was used a couple of times throughout that conference was enthusiasm is self-confidence in action. So when you get excited and you can share that excitement, it does kind of make that conversation a little easier, or just builds your self-confidence in sharing about the opportunity. Another takeaway that I had from this session was oftentimes I catch myself saying, "Are you interested in joining Tastefully Simple?" Well, try to work away from that. A better way to offer that is, have you ever thought about? Because that will measure their interest. When you're asking them, are you interested? You're kind of telling them what to do, telling them what to think. But when you ask them, have you ever thought about? It kind of gets their wheels turning, and they can come back easier with their level of interest. Another phrase, learning that I took away, often I will find myself saying, if I could show you how, again, using the words, if we could find a way, rather than showing them working together, then they're going to have input on that and they're going to be able to dictate what is going to work for them. And the last takeaway from that session was at vendor events. So when somebody comes up to your table and says, "Oh, I haven't seen Tastefully Simple in forever. I love it all. I wish I could buy it all." The words that you can use is, would you like to hear about a way to earn some cash to get your products paid for? Would you like to hear about a way to earn some cash to get yours for free? Rather than, have you ever thought about joining Tastefully Simple or becoming a consultant, asking them, would you like to hear about a way? Then you're asking for their permission to share that information with them. And if they say no, it's okay. It's going to happen. But at least you're making that offer at your vendor events as well. So, Rebecca, did you have anything to add?
I wrote down the have you ever thought, or have you thought about, and if we could find a way. So those were two of my takeaways from that as well. But with the vendor event thing too, if they come up and they say like, "Oh, I don't ever see Tastefully Simple anymore," or whatever, that's also a lead in for you to be like, "Hey, let's get some consultants in your area. Can we talk?" Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're not seeing Tastefully Simple wherever they live, there's obviously a need and they could fill it, or maybe they know someone, during that conversation. So use that too. There's one other thing that you said I was going to add to, but I don't know what it is anymore. I should write it down. I haven't blamed that on the cold medication. I would like to talk a little bit about onboarding. Margaret Carter was there. Or is it Margaret Thompson? Sorry, Margaret Carter Thompson, however you know her. Margaret, everybody knows Margaret. And she I didn't know. I mean, I knew her background was in direct sales, duh, but I did not know that she was like the queen of Tupperware at one time. Like franchisee, which I don't know what that means, but it's like apparently a really big deal. So she has just got a wealth of knowledge that and I knew that was there, but I didn't get to know that part of her. That was so great about the weekend, is just getting to know more about people that you never knew before. So she talked about when we're onboarding our new consultants, so for those of you who have a team or you're bringing people on, they probably need to see a paycheck. Otherwise, the motivation is going to drop substantially. And this really, I felt really called out by this because I have 2 people that joined last quarter and have sold nothing. And so I feel horrible. But she said you have 2 weeks to get a new consultant selling in order to get a paycheck, or they're probably not going to activate. So that really hit me like we really need to get them to get that party link set up and get some sort of business going so that they can see that paycheck within 2 weeks. Because let's face it, how long would we work at a job if we're not getting paid in the first 2 weeks? Like, peace out. Probably not gonna. So, something that I guess I maybe kind of knew, but it became a little bit clearer. But if they've ever used ProPay in some prior way, whether it's a former consultant of Tastely Simple or another instance, they will probably have to call ProPay and merge the former account with this account. So sometimes if you've ever had people with problems with ProPay and getting it set up, that might be why. I honestly didn't know all the ins and outs of that, so that kind of made that clearer for me too. And that can hold new consultants back, and we don't want that. I wrote this down, and this is, I don't know, like this is kind of like get your consultant going at all costs. If they can't, and I put can't in quotes, if they can't book a party, call her friends and do it for her. So I don't know, I never had thought about that. Like, hey, why don't I just get some phone numbers from your friends and just do it for you? Because sometimes they have that fear. I mean, you're not going to be afraid of being told no by someone else's friends. So just an idea, throwing that out there. The other couple things I have on onboarding are social media, and then I'll flip it over to Lisa and see if she wants to add. But one of them had ideas, and actually Tanya Davis on my team just made an image that I can share too. And it says, we interrupt your scrolling to announce the newest Tastely Simple consultant. So make that image for your consultant and send it to them, or post it on their page, whatever, however it can get up there as soon as possible. And they said you can also do that for consultants who've dropped in productivity. So your TS perks, like maybe put something on their Facebook page like, this is your TS consultant. I mean, we'd have to word that better than that, but just so people know they're still in business, because they might not be telling people. So you can help by posting on their timeline or sending them an image that's already done and say, put this on your timeline, see what happens, kind of thing. They said to reach out right away. I think we all know that, but then also have your leader reach out right away if you're comfortable with that. So they're feeling welcome and feeling important. It's helpful if you have videos to watch that are on your team page and pinned to the top. You won't find those on my team page, but maybe on Sherry's. I don't know. This has been a tip that's been tossed around, but just it's a great tip for, especially with social media. Their first online party then becomes their VIP group. I'm sure many of you have heard that before, but that's just brilliant, because hopefully a lot of people join that. Just change the title to VIP group and keep right on rolling in there. And it was encouraged to go live on their first party or their group or their page to generate excitement, to get their customers, clients introduced, to get the word out, that kind of thing. So those are my takeaways on onboarding. Lisa, did you have anything on that topic?
Yeah, I had a couple more to add. But the 2 week thing that you mentioned, that was a big thing too. I had written that down, and exactly that, within the first 2 weeks, they can be making a paycheck. And so let them know that they don't have to wait a month or 2 months to be making money after joining Tastefully Simple, that, you know, essentially the 7th and the 22nd are paydays. And so any sales they have by the 15th or the end of the month, that they're going to be earning commission on that as right away. And in helping them get started, you know, because I do the launch party for most of my new consultants, in your posting, when you're asking for parties, you can use the verbiage, you know, Susie needs to learn how to do this, so we need someone to host a party. Who is willing to be her first host? And then that way they understand that you're looking for a host so that she can learn. You could also use the word training. I will be training Christy to do this party. And, you know, so who will help us out by being her first host? And of course, be leading yourself, walk the walk. If you're only doing $100 of sales in a month, you can't expect your team to be doing $500 a month. So walk the walk. If you're doing, you know, the parties, model that for your team. When they're just starting, reach out and ask them what attracted them to Tastefully Simple. What is their why? You know, are they, you know, just signing up to get the product for themselves, sell to their friends and family? You know, are they only looking to get $50 a month, or are they looking to earn $500 a month? When you know where they are, then that can guide you into how hard you're going to be coaching and working with them. You can't instill belief if they don't know the possibilities. So if they don't understand, if you don't share with them that, yes, you absolutely can earn that $500 a month, and here's how we're going to do that. If they don't know that that's even a possibility, then they won't have that belief that they can do it too. And when they know that you are helping them get what they want, then that will hopefully open up that line of communication. I know a lot of times we say, and we hear others say, you know, I text them, I message them, but I'm not getting any response. So if we approach it as to, you know, how can I help you earn that $50 a month? If they know that you're doing it to help them, then hopefully that'll open up that line of communication and form that relationship to work together. That's what I had written down on the onboarding process.
All right, you have a topic you want to propose, or you want me to jump again?
You go right ahead, because those were my highlights.
All right. Well, I am always looking for team engagement. So I don't know if everyone on here has a team, or hopefully you're looking to build a team if you're not. But there are some really great ideas on that. And the meeting in a post I talked a little bit about last week, to where you just have one post that's pinned at the top of your Facebook group or however your team communicates. And then all the important information from the month is a comment on there. Hopefully getting engagement. We're working at it. But also, I never thought about it this way, but this particular leader downloads all the graphics from Get Social for kind of everything, and then puts them in those posts so that her team can get them right off of there and not have to go through Get Social to get them themselves. So if your team is maybe not, I guess, posting or promoting, maybe they're just not going to get social and getting the thing. So maybe if you get them for them, I mean, it was an idea that I'm like, well, I'll try anything once here. But I believe this is, well, I know Susie Mann gave these tips, but I know Sarah Burke does this too, where she takes one morning and she goes on live in her team group. And I think Susie called it More Info Monday, or maybe Sarah did, I'm not sure. But it's basically 10 to 15 minutes about what's going on, okay? They do an ICU, like a ICU, not like the hospital, of people who've worked in the past week. They do non-sales victories, like congratulating people for their posts, their reels, their lives, whatever they're doing that's positive. They talk about the specials, talk about any stock status, which seems to be all over the place lately. Team status for the month, like how close we are to reaching sales goals, promotion goals. Some recognize like a 500 club, some recognize their Bravo Bucks earners. And then Susie had this thing called Zoom, which again, everyone got a complete chuckle out of it, but it's the recognizing the person who goes from $0 to $100 in sales the fastest. So they would be like Zoom winner. So it's kind of just a cute idea to, it'd be great if you had like a little traveling thing on their Facebook page too, like, you know, something fun like that. I think that's all. Oh, there's some that do green by 15 or 500 by 15. I started Stomp Out Their Zero. I talked a little bit about that last week, where it's just a post that has like some sort of thing smashing a zero, like hammer or animal or whatever, car, truck. And then I congratulate everybody who's doesn't have $0 in sales for the month as they move off of their zero. So, and I have 2 people who haven't sold anything in forever that have sold something this month. I'm so proud. They stomped out their zero. So I don't know if it's that post, but by golly gosh, something changed. Wahoo Wednesday, where you could recognize anything. The example was the top 3 sellers for that week. Yeah, so that's some team interaction, team engagement, team recognition type ideas there. Lisa, do you have anything to add to that one? You probably half that advice.
Yes. I like recognition, you know. Part of my presentation was, you know, raise your hand if you worked an 8 to 5 job, raise your hand if you got kudos for doing your job well. And the amount of hands that were raised for that were quite a few less than those that worked a regular 8 to 5 day job. And then I asked how many of you would like to be recognized for your efforts, and there were a lot of hands in the room. So, you know, we don't need a pat on the back, you know, simply for waking up in the morning, although some days I feel like that is an accomplishment, just getting out of bed. But, you know, just recognizing everybody for their efforts. And, you know, the top sellers, if they're consistent, they're constantly getting those kudos. But if you have people that, you know, like Rebecca said, okay, these 2 people just placed an order and they haven't had an order in months, recognizing them might just be the difference that they need to go, wow, that was really nice. I want to do that again. Because when you feel appreciated, you're wanting to do more. So one thing that I will sometimes do is, if we, you know, hit our team goal sales, I will send out 3 handwritten cards to people that had $100 in sales, not, you know, $2,000, but those $100 in sales, $200 in sales, because those sales contributed to our team sales to get us to our goal. And those sales are just as important to me as the $2,000 sales. So, you know, whether they feel it or think it, they are important to our team, and I want them to know that. So I'll do a little handwritten note. I have some inspirational quote cards that I found at Target. And I'll just throw a couple of those in there. Stickers for water bottles are real popular, you know, anything, you know, little cheap, just token of appreciation, saying we're, you know, I'm so glad you're part of our team, and, you know, every order is important for our team goal, and I'm so glad to have you as part of our team. Just some snail mail that makes them feel good and makes me feel good being able to send that out too. But yeah, otherwise, you know, the 500 Club weekly sales. I also will put out a post about my leaders and where they are at in their leadership. So if they're seeing that they are consistently getting that $500 a month, and that their team is maybe at, you know, 25%, 50%, 75%, then they can see how close they are to that next promotion. And you know, if it wasn't a goal, it might become a goal of theirs. But I like them to see that just so that they know, they can see that they're working at a leader level and that leadership is a possibility for them. So that's what I'll add.
And she has Canva graphics she can share if you guys are interested in seeing how she does that. I think it would be a motivation for me if I saw that. I really like those. I haven't got them done yet, but I really like those, Lisa. Okay, it is 8:32 and I was worried about going overtime. I have a couple things I want to share on booking, or did we want to open up for question and answer here quick? I mean, we've been talking a lot nonstop and you haven't raised your hand once. So is there, what do we want to do, ladies? You tell us. Go to the bar on Zoom. Everyone's on mute.
I say go ahead and do the booking stuff.
Okay. Renee has spoken. So just a couple booking things. And again, some of these are repetitive. So again, it's just a good reminder. But if they answer, like if you have a poll in your party that says like A, I'm gonna order, B, I need help, C, you guys know what I'm talking about, like a vote thing. If anybody answers your poll that they're not ordering, you need to reach out to them to book, because if they can't afford to order, then they need to book and get it for free is kind of the rationale. And I was like, duh, but I don't do it. So that was an aha moment for me. And then I wrote down this verbiage. I'm not sure who this was from, but it says, can I count on you to help your friend and gift them a half price item? Like, I found that verbiage just very different than anything I've ever used. So can I count on you to help your friend so I can gift them a half price item? So I'm gonna try that. I haven't pulled that one out of my pocket yet, but the booking A to Z, where you go down your Facebook Messenger and you type the letter A and then you pick one person and ask them to have a party, B, so on and so forth, and try to be random, try not to prejudge, and text memos for that or voice memos for that instead of typing is what they recommend. And then this one, some ladies went home and used this like immediately, but for a mystery host party, and you draw your winner, right? Contact that person and say, number one, you can take the credit and we'll close the party, or number two, we keep this party open and we start like a catalog or a Facebook party or whatever kind of party you're comfortable having. And then she builds it from there so that it turns into something even more. So, I don't know whose idea that was, Lisa. Do you remember? But
I want to say Debbie's, but there was a few of them that did that.
But then Rachel Downs, yeah, she went back to Maine and she did it immediately. And the host said, yeah, let's keep it open. So she started getting more sales on top of like right now I have a mystery host party at $700 and I haven't drawn the winner for like a month. So I better do that. But I will contact that person and ask if they want to make it their party, and then hopefully start a Facebook party with them. So I thought that was brilliant. Hello, where was that tip, right? And then do not discount the guess the amount of spices, seasonings, whatever pictures that you have out there, and then all the people guess, and then they all magically win a party. There's been some really big success in our company doing that. Like, I can't remember if Christy said she booked like 34 parties or something like that, Christy Cruson. So if you really need parties on your calendar, find an image that has a whole bunch of something in it and have people guess, and then message them and tell them they magically won, and what they won is as a party. So get those. I mean, you can have like a real winner too, but don't let anyone else know that. But yeah, and if you need help with those images, I think we can find some out there. I know there's the bin with the seasonings and whatever else out there, but that seems to have been really effective for some people who are really needing some parties on their calendar.
And even better, if you have product on hand or samples at home on hand, put them in your own basket, take your own picture, because with the Facebook algorithm, we know how it goes when you're using someone else's picture. an original picture is going to get a better response in the algorithm. So feel free to throw all your products in one container and put that picture out there, just asking them to guess how many.
And it doesn't matter what the right answer is. It doesn't. Everybody wins.
The
They win a party.
closest guess wins.
Yeah, they win. You win.
They're all close.
Unless they're ridiculous, like 5. I mean, that would be hard to tell them they won, but I mean, you could work it in there. So that's, I mean, I have some more on, I don't want to go into it tonight because we'll go way over and I'll probably get in trouble from Sherry, but how Debbie Kimball sets up her year. So if we want to talk about that another time, if anyone's interested in hearing some of that verbiage, she literally sets up a whole year in January for her team and stuff. We could set up a time to talk or whatever on that too. So any questions? If not, we're gonna stop recording. I guess we can stop recording and then ask questions too.
Lots of good info. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Probably talked 100 miles an hour. No questions? We did such a good job. It's all clear. Thanks, Alice. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for taking your time to get on with us tonight. And I'm really disappointed that no naked children came through the background. So I'm getting curious to see what's going on behind me when I leave the room here. Tony is gone, so who knows? But we enjoyed bringing this to you, and we hope to see you another Monday night. I don't know what she's got going. I know she's partying next Monday, so if anybody wants to lead next week, I'm sure she would love you for it. So don't be afraid. Until next time, see you later.
If you have more information to share, you should do it again next week.
Oh, okay, Alice.
This was really good. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome anytime. How do I stop the recording? There we go.